with all the limited supplies, like CDC's telling us to be more resourceful, be more creative with how to really approach the COVID pandemic situation. But it's just been very exhausting making sure that our patients are safe and healthy and quarantined, our staff are safe and healthy. And it's just like I kept telling Sam every time I came home, like I'm like brain dead. I'm just tired. It's exhausting. So I give like kudos to all the healthcare professionals out there, the frontliners. I really commend you guys because it's exhausting, but
it's pretty intense out there, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Before
we jump too much farther, thank you to everyone out there for joining us. I will say it, if you like it, love it. If you got to have more of it, please share it. As we said, make sure that you head over to www.thehopnerd.com. Follow along on all things social media, all that kind of stuff. This is your show. Make sure that you give us a call. There's that handy dandy number, 480-712-5219. You can call us. We'll see how that works. We'll try it out. We're working the bugs out on that thing still, but we'll see how it works. I'm sure it'll work. You can text us, 480. There's my redneck coming out again. You can text us. You can text us at 480-877-0155. Here's that website, www.thehopnerd.com. And if you like following along with us and you like watching the shows, you can actually head over to www.thehopnerd.tv and you can watch us live on our website and comment and all that stuff. I am watching the comment sections on all of the social media stuff, so please make sure to drop us a line, shoot us a comment, start that conversation. If you have anything that you want to get off of your mind or anything that you want to talk about or want us to talk about, we gladly will. Like I shared with you, we're playing around with different times as we do this thing. You kind of seen us just kind of randomly start live here today. That's just because we're just doing these kind of impromptu, middle of the week, everyday streams, just because we feel like the conversation is really important. As I shared with you, I am joined by my one and only significant other right here. And I'm saying hi. Hello. So as we kind of cut into everything, that's what we were talking about a little bit, is what things look like on the front lines. He's an essential employee. I had to be an essential employee this week and do some stuff I couldn't do from home. So he's out there on the front lines dealing with a lot of this stuff. For those folks that don't know you, why don't you tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do and kind of all that stuff for the folks that are new to us. Other than being blessed with all this.
Okay. Hello. Hello, everybody. My name is Jarrell Belongi. I am Sam's amazing,
That's a stretch.
Amazing other half. He wouldn't be the person he is today without me.
That's true. I totally agree with that. Yeah.
But yes, I am a registered nurse. I'm currently working out there with this whole pandemic situation. I mean, that's really it.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know what else they want to know about me.
Oh, they'll jump in at some point. You'll get some wacky questions at some point. For those folks out there that aren't familiar with what's going on in healthcare, is there anything that you would say to them? I mean, what's going on the front lines? I mean, I think that's the question that's on a lot of folks' minds, is what's going on out there for healthcare providers.
As of right now, like this whole week that we've been dealing with, it's still somewhat the same thing, is the supplies being limited. So we're trying to be creative as much as possible. We're actually trying to I'm actually looking at some supplies here because, we're following the CDC guidelines and they're recommending to use like cotton face masks that we could actually start using.
That are useless.
That we would be making at home.
That are useless.
They are useless, but it's something. It's better to use this than nothing, really, because we don't have any supplies, honestly. That right now, then of course, just making sure that our patients and our staff are following the CDC guidelines, being safe, not showing any types of signs or symptoms. That's pretty much it. It's like, I guess we're trying to do our best. Our main focus is trying to keep that COVID out of our facility. Because once that hits our facility, it's going to spread like wildfire. So that's my main focus right now. And I know that's main focus of everybody else, is just trying to contain it, trying to minimize it. But I don't know. That's it, really.
Yeah, and that's a lot. That's a lot of what's shared with just normal organizations. I mean, we're struggling with the same stuff. I mean, I spent a good chunk of my week trying to get my hands on supplies. I talked to everybody about that a little bit over the past couple of days, but I spent a good chunk of my time trying to get my hands on supplies and do stuff like that, and help support different locations and symptom checks and all that kind of stuff, and just trying to keep it out. I mean, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that most organizations are doing right now, is just trying to stay working while keeping this out of out of their locations and facilities, whether it's healthcare or non-healthcare. I think that's the thing, right? Either way, not good, right? Not good if you start getting cases. It's not going to be fun. And I apologize. I was ranting about how I messed up the audio yesterday, and I didn't realize that I had messed up the audio today too. So we stayed on mute for a little bit right at the beginning.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
We were mute?
Very early, yeah. We've not been muted for a while now. I just haven't addressed it yet. So if you're watching this, the first couple minutes of us, we were muted because I didn't realize that we were still muted, because I was fighting with this stupid computer trying to figure that thing out. So I'm manning multiple computers here. This is, like I told you before, this is a really high quality operation here. It's like a one-man band. I'm like doing stuff with my feet down here. I'm doing stuff with both hands. It's like a whole one-man band type setup. So yesterday, I was talking about yesterday because I had set up this. I've got this camera angle that I really like, that most of you probably noticed, is this one. I really like this camera a bunch because it's pretty clear. I like the angle. It gets this whole ambiance of the Hop Nerd Studios, right? It gets this whole thing going on. You get to see, I like it. You get to see my or Johnny Cash here. You get to see our Tina Minion painting here, which I love this painting. It's followed me everywhere. It's a New Year's party in Purgatory for Suicides, in which Liberace makes a guest appearance down from heaven just for the hell of it. That's the title of the painting. So if you don't know who Tina Minion is, you should go check her out. There's a phenomenal. I'll say that for a second. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'll get back to the painting. But the whole thing here with the studio is I like this angle because it shows all this. It shows off these cool, super duper cool lights. But with this camera, I had forgotten to mute it. And as I was sharing with you, which I think you were muted for the entire time that I was sharing it with you, is I was saying that I set this thing up every single day just because it's the only one that's not permanently affixed to stuff. It's the one that I can move around and kind of do all that stuff. And I'm clumsy. Avery's super clumsy. We knock crap down. So if there's a cord, we're going to find it. We're going to trip over it. We're going to knock stuff down. Avery does that without there being any cords attached. She can just when she walks to the studio, I love it when she's here, but it's just like all the stands go bam, 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 bam as we kind of do any of these things. So it gets pretty funny. But that's a big long apology for saying that I'm sorry if I screwed up the mute at the beginning. I forgot to unmute our mics before we started. Yesterday I forgot to mute that camera. So it was super echoey and all that stuff. We're figuring out. We're figuring it out. I've got like 47 things we do right before we live stream to get everything set up, from turning the lights on, getting the system set up, getting this stupid computer working, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it takes a few minutes. I'll get off ranting about my stupidity for a little bit. But again, sorry. It's the only thing that I can say. But yeah, today we're hanging out. We're doing a little bit of a live stream. I think then we're going to head over and do a little bit of grocery shopping. So wish us luck as we go out and we wander through Sam's Club and all that kind of stuff. We're probably going to have to go to Sam's, maybe Walmart, maybe. We went to Target last night.
We're going to go to Walmart.
We went to Target last night looking for some stuff. Actually looking for stuff for our bikes. I told you that we got bikes yesterday, but we were looking for some stuff for our brand new bicycles. Maybe when we're in Walmart, I can look for some more fitness equipment. We're talking about turning a portion of our garage into a gym, since it looks like we're going to be living at home and not leaving for the next year. At least the way everything's going. So if you got eyes on the location of any decent gym equipment, and I put this call out yesterday too, but decent meaning good, not Walmart brand, more like Rogue-ish type of stuff, Titan-ish type of stuff. Let me know, because I'm picky. Been doing powerlifting for quite a while. I'm picky about benches. I'm picky about squat racks. It's got to be the right one. So let me know if you see anything out there. I can't find anything in stock. Now has become the time for building home gyms, and unfortunately we're late to the party. We should have done this years ago, but we didn't. So What we're going to do today, we'll do our normal kind of show. We'll talk through some of the news. You'll get to see my reactions to, or our reactions to some of the stupidity that's going on out there in the news and in the world. And we'll just have fun. We're just going to keep this conversation going for a little while, and then we're going to get off here and go to the store. But what I was telling you about with the Tina Minion painting is she's an awesome artist up in northern Arizona. I share with you the views of Flagstaff all the time, right? The beautiful views of Flagstaff, just because I love Flagstaff. I always want to show it to you whenever I get the chance. And there it is. There's the beautiful, the very nice Flagstaff. There's still a little bit of snow in the mountains. You can see snow in the mountains in the background there. This is from downtown Flagstaff, Arizona. We get the opportunity to go up there as much as we possibly can just because we like it. We love it. It's fun. The last time we were up there, I think, was in the middle of the blizzard, right? When there was the ton of snow, like a couple feet of snow. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, we love heading up there. We love northern Arizona. It's a blast. But right past Flagstaff, and when I say right past, it's like an hour-ish, you get into a little town called Winslow, Arizona. And that's a small town. And when I say small, imagine the smallest town that you've ever been in, right? That's kind of northern Arizona-ish feel. And then it's probably about like that. And then if you go right past that into some of the other towns that are past Winslow, that kind of chunk right there off of I-40, imagine the smallest town you've ever been in, and then it's much smaller than that as you continue on down through there. I love northern Arizona, though. I absolutely love northern Arizona. But yeah, in Winslow there is a hotel, and it's called the La Posada, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and there's a nice, amazing little restaurant. It's an amazing restaurant, right? Called the Turquoise Room. That's in the Posada, and it's an old Harvey House type of hotel that's built right on the railroad there. It's amazing. It's old. I don't remember the original years, but I think it's like in the 30s, 40s ish. It's super old. And basically, I believe she owns it. I believe her and her husband own it. And so it's kind of like a hotel, restaurant, art gallery, all kinds of cool stuff. If you love old things, antique things, kind of wild things, and you can kind of get the sense of her art here. Again, this is a New Year's party in Purgatory for Suicides, in which Liberace makes a guest appearance down from heaven just for the hell of it. That's the name of the painting, and it's filled with all of those folks, right? It's got all these interesting characters in it. You can quickly point out Kurt Cobain. You can quickly pick out all kinds of different folks, famous characters in this painting. So it's really cool. If you ever get a chance to cruise up there and check out that spot, that's probably my most favorite place in northern Arizona, as far as hotels and that kind of thing goes. You can just go hang out there, and she sells these prints and all that kind of stuff. So that's the story behind this picture. Is number one, I just like it. It's cool. It kind of fits with my I talk about my morbid stuff that I get into all the time. But this is one of those that fits right in there. How are things going in your world? Again, this is your show. You can give us a call, 480. Got to get my coffee in here, 712-5219. We'd love to have that conversation with you. If you don't want to call us, you can always text us. 480-877-0155, and we will dive into whatever you want to dive into. If you're not following along in the podcast, please head over, check out the podcast. It's The Hop Nerd. You'll see that logo right there, right? Follow us on YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Again, check us out. Check out the stuff out there. This is our show where we get to talk about really just anything we want to. And that's why it's my most favorite, because we just get to get up here and ramble and talk about anything and everything that we want. So how are things going for you? Shoot us that text. Give us that call. Jump into the comments. All of that stuff, and we will talk about it. I'm going to pull up the news and see what's happening out in the world right now. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says state not ready for high point. Oh, goodness. There we go. As coronavirus death tolls rise. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said Saturday that more than 3,500 people in the state have died due to the coronavirus. More than 113,000 COVID cases have been confirmed in the state, which is the U.S. epicenter of the outbreak. So it's really frustrating to me. Coronavirus race to respond. Global death toll top 62,000. D.C. couple weds less than 24 hours before lockdown. That's just going on into more news articles, but I thought it was giving me some bullet points. But it's frustrating to me. So I don't get the. There should be a massive stream of resignations after this thing is over with, because there's a lot of literature, and I think that's the thing that we're seeing more and more and more now, is that there's lots and lots of literature that has been out there for a long time talking about the things that we need to do, the things that we need to have stockpiled, and everyone has just blatantly ignored that. Especially from and I'm speaking to the government side. I think there's a lot of folks that need to resign. There's a lot of folks that need to just draft up their letter of resignation as this thing draws to an end, and just step down. And I'm talking to the high levels of political circles in both the Senate and the House. There's a lot of folks that need to step down, and I won't dive too far deep into that. But everything's been saying that we need to be prepared for something like this for years and years and years and years, and we just ignore it and ignore it and ignore it. And again, if it's your watch to maintain these stockpiles and then you let them dwindle and then you don't refill them, you're kind of a dumbass, right? And you should probably retire. You should be forced to resign, right? I think that's where we're at now. I think we really do need to push that, because it's stupid. It's frustrating to see what folks are going through. It's frustrating to see that we're at a point of recommending that people wear face masks that offer them no protection just because we don't have anything better. There's people out there that their job was to ensure that we had this stuff, and they failed to do that. So I think those are things that we need to consider. I think that we need to really hold our government accountable. Again, we pay them. Revolution is not a bad thing. And there's a very good Joe Rogan podcast that I was listening to. I believe it was with Eric Weinstein. And again, talking about some of those similar things. So I would encourage you to go check that out if you haven't. But I think it's time to push back on this stuff and not allow these folks just to continue to get away with what they get away with, and just go, oh, well, we could have never seen this coming. The scientific literature has been saying this for a long time, that this was coming, and folks have just continued to ignore it. So I think we need to push on that. I definitely think we need to push on that. And there's my rant for the day. I won't rant at you anymore over that. But we'll dive back into the regular news. And obviously, everything that we're looking at is all coronavirus related stuff. The U.S. Was beset by denial and dysfunction as the coronavirus raged. Maybe, like I said, I think we'll see things. I think we'll see things come out as we continue to work through the situation. Once the response is over, once the confusion lifts, I think that's when we'll get to find out a lot of the truth. I think that's going to be a very interesting time, especially as a lot of snaky, slimy politicians that are used to snaking and sliming around aren't going to be able to get out of some of this stuff anymore. I don't believe. So again, I think this is stupid though. We're getting into this whole argument about the face mask. Even when we were talking about the government's change in recommendations, even the president said, "I'm not wearing that face mask. It doesn't do anything." That's basically what Donald Trump said, is I won't wear one. It doesn't do anything, right? So we're pretending like we're doing something when we change these recommendations to tell people to basically put a diaper over their face, right? We're saying, well, just tie a handkerchief around your face, because that's what the guidance has changed to, right? I mean, that's honestly what it's changed to. I just don't see how it can be helpful. I just really don't see how it can be helpful. It might help in limiting the spread from you emitting small droplets and those kind of things if you're sneezing and you're coughing into it. But again, people think that it gives them some level of protection from others, and it doesn't. I think that, for me, that's one of the biggest fears. So I don't know. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, pretty interesting. We jumped into some of those articles yesterday as the White House had shared some of that as they were talking about reversing their decision on not recommending that people wear homemade masks and stuff. But now there's a bunch of stuff out here that's coming up with like how it's showing like instructions on how to make your own masks, and but there's no sealing surface, there's no protection. Again, it's not going to protect you from anything that's really airborne. It's only going to protect you from droplets and particles, and maybe only just a little bit. Right? You're still going to breathe that stuff around through the seal. So I don't know. Again, there's stuff out there if you want to know how to make your own masks. I'm not wearing one. That's not going to happen. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. I think it's pointless when you use those little face masks because they don't really stop you or doesn't really hinder the whole particles coming into your system. But the only reason why we're looking into it is because like we had a whole discussion this week with like our corporate and everything is because staff members who come in, like our nurses and our nursing assistants that come in, they demand that we supply them masks or they won't give care. So it's more of like
it's a pretend.
It's more of like a mental
it's a pretend
kind of thing. Yeah,
it's a security blanket.
So
for
that's
your face,
something.
yeah.
That's why when I say we have to try to be creative and resourceful for what we have, so we're trying to maintain our supply of PPE for when we actually really need it. So like the staff, like none of our patients are infected or anything, but it's just like with the whole media exploiting all this pandemic stuff and really exaggerating kind of in a sense, our staff are refusing to come into work if we can't supply them a face mask. So that's why we're looking into like cloth masks that we're going to make that our staff are agreeing that they'll come in if we supply those. So that's one reason why we're doing it. It's more of not, I don't want to sound bad and like it's like not like a lie, but more of like it's a mental thing where they feel safe enough to come into work. I don't know. That makes me sound bad.
It's the illusion of safety.
Yeah. I mean, like, of course, we would never put our staff into a position where, like, if they really need to use, like, an N95 that we have supplied, then we're going to provide it if we have a patient that exhibiting those types of symptoms. But as of right now, there's no cases in our facility. So that's why we're planning to use the cloth masks. So it's more of a mental thing for our staff to come in and work. So if that makes sense. I feel like I'm a bad person when I say it out loud. But in my head, it makes sense. But if I say it out loud, I feel like
there's clearly some there as far as stopping the spread from someone that's already sick, right? I mean, we see that manifested in emergency rooms all the time, even just general flu season, whereas like here, put on this surgical mask just because it helps contain some of your droplets. But again, and some of the stuff that you normally discharge, I mean, you're coughing into something rather than that, and maybe it helps you from touching your face and kind of all that general stuff. But again, as a means of protection for you, it really doesn't do a lot. But I totally get where you're coming from because I'm seeing the same thing manifest in our world, where really, so for my safety folks out there and for my folks out there that work outside of healthcare, what happens with these organizations? We go, oh my God, we've got to have PPE. Mm-hmm. And we forget that PPE is the last line of defense against stuff, right? I think we're oh my God, if we don't put them in PPE, the risk is they pretend that the risk is extremely high, when really you can work through engineering controls and you can use administrative controls that will protect you just as well, if not better, than PPE. And then maybe you couple that with a little bit of PPE. But I think I shared this the other day, but I'll share it again, If you're maintaining that distance, if you're staying back, even if you're screening folks, again, you're not working with confirmed COVID-19 patients, right? I think that's the main thing. Number one, you're not working with confirmed patients. And I get that. You have to treat everyone as if they're infected. I understand that. But if you do that, I'm treating you as if you're infected. I'm staying 6 feet away from you. I'm using other controls. I shared with you some of the screening sites that I've seen where you basically build cattle chutes type of things, where you have guardrails set up to keep people far enough away from the screeners. You have sneeze guards in between them. They're doing non-contact, thermal imaging. They're doing fever stickers, right? That's a thing that we talked about where you can lay the fever sticker. They're laying out on the table. If you think you have someone that has a fever, after they go through some type of thermal imaging, non-contact temperature testing of some kind where you can maintain that 6 foot distance, then they can pick up that fever sticker, basically throw it on their own forehead. You can confirm or deny that they have a fever. So you're never coming into contact. You're staying 6 foot plus, usually much farther away from folks. So yeah, I think that we're still seeing panic. I think that's some of the problem. We're seeing a panic that drives folks towards unnecessary PPE, even in the non-healthcare setting. So we're using up supplies that we shouldn't be using up, especially yet. If you don't know, go try to find a Tyvek suit right now. If you don't know, go try to find an actual N95 respirator right now. If you don't know, go try to find anything of that kind of PPE right now. Go try to find face shields or goggles or gloves or spoggles or anything like that. Go try to find, again, the white zip-up Tyvek suits. Try to find any of that stuff. It's completely unavailable. And the problem, or what we're preparing for, at least here in the greater Phoenix area, is that the shit hasn't hit the fan yet. It's going to hit in a couple of weeks. And we've already used it all up, panic, and going, oh my God, I've got to have my PPE on even if I'm 20 foot away from somebody that might have COVID, right? So we've used it all up. So when shit really does hit the fan, what's going to happen? Right? What's going to happen? Especially in the healthcare setting and in my world too. We're running through the same thing where we're going, we got folks screening people, and I get that they're 10 feet away from them. They're never anywhere close. It's completely non-contact. They never touch them. Nothing like that ever happens. But we still need to put them in a Tyvek suit and in goggles and in gloves and in respiratory protection, and we use it all up. And then we get to the point to where we're reusing it. And what good does that do? When you put on an isolation gown and you wear it for an entire shift and you're eating your lunch with it on, or you're taking it off and putting it back on, or you take a Tyvek suit and you wear it all day, and when you're not interacting with folks screening them, you're taking it off and you're tying it around your waist, right? Tying the upper part of the coveralls around your waist, and then you're leaving it on, you're eating lunch, and you're doing all that crap. You're just smearing stuff around. It's like the thing that I share, the story I continue to share about the little old ladies that I pick on from Walmart, right, that have the gloves on, and they go walk around in Walmart and they touch everything, and then they get in the car and they touch everything in their car. The gloves aren't magic. The gloves don't kill germs, right? The Tyvek suits don't kill germs. The respirators don't kill germs. The shit gets stuck on there, right? And now you're just taking it down and smearing it around and touching your face and pretending like it's actually doing something for us. And it's really just you burning up a supply of stuff that we're probably going to need in a couple weeks, at least here. Right, at least here in kind of, I will classify Phoenix as the middle country, right? We're right there, kind of. We're still West Coast, I guess, technically, but you get what I'm saying. As we kind of get through this place to where whatever has happened on the coast are going to start to hit the middle, right? And when stuff really hits here in Phoenix in the next couple of weeks, we don't have anything left because we burned it all up pretending, right? Going, oh, we overprotect. Right. And I get that. I understand that in a normal world, that's probably the best case scenario. Right. In a normal world, we're saying, OK, we're going to make sure that we not only have engineering controls, administrative controls, but we're going to throw a little bit of PPE in there in the mix just to make sure that we've got that as a last line of defense to build a little bit of margin there just in case some of those things fail. We're going to have something there. I get that. I totally get that strategy. But that strategy doesn't work in the apocalypse. Right, that kind of goes out the window. That doesn't work with what we're dealing with right now when we're dealing with massive supply shortages. We really have to ration things, and we really have to be smart about things. This should teach us a lesson on really getting back to relying on engineering controls, on administration controls, on elimination, right? I think this should really teach us a lesson in that. We really have to be thoughtful of that. And I've seen a lot of that innovation. We have to innovate. The stuff that we have normally used, normal day-to-day stuff, that's barely working in normal day-to-day stuff is definitely not going to work in the situations that we find ourselves in now. So we're really going to have to be innovative. We're really going to have to innovate and adapt and do things different other than just saying, okay, well, let's just throw on a Tyvek and a respirator.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really going to have to be innovative with that. And I've seen some really cool innovative stuff, especially at these screening stations, because that's where we're burning up a lot of PPE in general industry is screening folks coming into work. Right, we started out with this whole idea that we have to protect. We basically put these folks in level A suits, right? They might as well have a freaking SCBA on. And these are folks that are just coming through a screening station, right? Non-confirmed COVID cases. They're going through, none of them are demonstrating any symptoms, and I get that. They don't have to, blah, 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 blah. But you get where I'm going. By the time they come through that screening station, and then we're going to release them to general pop, right? The general pop of the workforce, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Right, so it just seems like a waste of PPE that we're definitely going to need when we could be using that somewhere else where it makes more sense to use that stuff. I told you I wouldn't rant, but you know me, I'm going to rant. I've always got to rant. So I think that's really what we got to be on the lookout for is innovation. We've really got to be mindful of innovation. So we find ourselves in a situation where stuff is really, really, really low. We don't have the stuff that we usually have, and I get that, but we just have to admit that that's a situation that we're in. We can put heads on pikes later from certain politicians and folks that led us into this situation. We can deal with those folks later, but we can't just say, well, we should, right? And the safety people do that a lot. I'm a safety person. I hear safety people do that all the time. Well, we've got to still make sure that we maintain. Okay, well, you freaking do that when we don't have anything to maintain with. You force people to wear stuff that we don't have, right? So let's see how far that goes. I think we have to shut up and innovate. I think that's really where we're at. We have to shut up and we have to innovate. There's been a lot of innovation coming around with the sterilization of N95 masks. We've seen that come out of Duke University. We've seen companies come to attention and start to build these units that can sterilize thousands upon thousands of pieces of medical equipment at the same time through vaporized hydrogen peroxide units that they put in basically into these big sea vans. You can fill it full of N95 masks. You can clean them that way, and you can reuse them up to 20 times. So you see those deploying around the country. Industry has not quite needed that as much as healthcare has needed that right now, but just one example, right? Putting sneeze guards between plexiglass between your screeners and your screened, and making sure that you're doing it in non-contact methods such as thermal imaging, such as FLIR, such as those things, right? You can do that, right? Those are ways that you can basically operate screening stations completely non-contact, right? Not only completely non-contact, not only 6 foot away, but with barriers between you and the dirty, right? There's ways to do this stuff without just throwing people into freaking PPE. When did we forget that that's the last thing? When did we forget that that's supposed to be the last thing, right? I think we got lazy and we started relying on it way too much. It's probably what happened. We're people. That's what we do. But there's my second rant, so I'll shut up. And I'll quit ranting. What do you think, babe?
Rant away. Sorry, I'm trying to...
He's trying to actually work on real work over here while we're doing this at the same time. I told him it probably wouldn't work out too well. Hobby Lobby closes its stores after defying coronavirus stay-at-home orders. So they did that for a little bit. They were corona deniers for a while. Leave it up to Hobby Lobby, right? Hobby Lobby finally closed. Finally, I was following this the other day. They finally closed all of its stores. They were basically saying that they were essential because they sold certain things. Right, I don't remember exactly what it was. It will maybe it'll get into it. Maybe I'll just shut up and read the article. U.S. after crafts, so they finally closed their stores after the craft supply stores received backlash from staying open in at least one state amid novel coronavirus pandemic. Nearly all the store employees will be furloughed, as well as a large portion of the corporate and distribution employees, according to a statement from the company. The closure and furlough took effect Friday evening and will remain in place until further notice. The statement read, on Wednesday, stores in Colorado were still open despite being deemed non-essential business in order to close. We know our customers relied on us to provide essential products, including materials to make personal protective equipment such as face masks, educational supplies for the countless parents who are now educating their children from home, and the thousands of small arts and crafts businesses who rely on us for supplies to make their products. I don't completely disagree with them there. I would love to hear your thoughts. Jump into the comments, send us a text, give us a call. I would be interested to hear what you say about that. But for me, I don't completely disagree with them, especially with folks staying at home, especially with everything that's going on with everyone at home. I don't know. I don't have much beef with Hobby Lobby for staying open, to be honest with you.
If they were open, we would have been there today.
Yeah, I mean, there's I don't have much beef with them staying open. It seems like there's some truth into what they're saying there. At least I feel like there is. What are your thoughts? Give us a call, 480-712-5219. It's just a good controversy. It's just something good for people to yell and kick and scream about, I think. Again, how dare they stay open and sell things, those evil capitalists. That's the kind of stuff that we're normally going to hear. Forget Zoom. Skype unveils free Meet Now video calls. Oh, cool. So Skype's going to come in and fill the void that where Zoom lost a bunch of trust, it seems like. We'll see how that goes. The latest iPad Pro disables mics when case is closed. Good, right? These days, any connected device with a microphone could arguably be treated with suspicion, and they should be, right? They totally should be. We're having that conversation about folks. Actually, at one of our screening stations, talking about screening stations, that's what one of the big conversations that was going on was that, well, you better not say certain things around your phone because then you start getting all the stupid ads, right? But I think that's been proven. You see that all the time. If you have an Alexa, if you have those kind of, the wiretap that you buy and put in your house, the government spy that you buy and put in your house, they've been shown. They're like, yes, we can actually go back after a crime and pull audio files from Alexa if they had one in their home. I don't know. I think it's crazy. I think it's dumb. We live in a world that's entirely too connected, right? That's entirely, without getting into a whole nother rant there, I will avoid. But yeah, definitely be cautious around that stuff. So I think that is cool that they do have that. I'm sure there's a way around that though. So we'll see. I'm in the market for a new iPad. I think we need a new iPad, huh? Not much to say today, huh? You're too busy over there working.
I'm just thinking. My brain's like going right now, trying to think of.
You all right?
They have so much to do. I'm just thinking, trying to prioritize my brain.
He's thinking about all that essential work that's going on, huh?
This is essential.
That's what I'm saying. He's working on his essential stuff. He's trying to wrap his head around everything that's going to have to happen next week when he goes to work.
Trying to get prepared, getting everything ready.
What do we have to? What do we need to get at Sam's Club? What isolation snacks do you want more than anything else?
Cookies and muffins and ice cream. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. We're terrible at making lists for shopping. We'll make them and then we'll leave them.
Yeah, we just wing it. We go to the store and just buy everything in each aisle.
It never ends up good. We always end up just not getting what we need. We end up just getting random stuff. Ellen DeGeneres jokes who wore it better as she compares a mullet throwback picture to Tiger King Joe Exotic. So you should Google that if you shouldn't. That's pretty good. She definitely had the mullet going on. I think the mullet should come back. I think the mullet's good. I like the bleach blonde mullet myself. I think that would be a good one to run with. A nice bleach blonde mullet. The mullet. I think the mullet would be good. I was talking about that yesterday. The fact that Kevin Spade, when we were talking about some of the interviews that was going on over on it's Kevin Spade, David Spades. What the heck? My mind is somewhere else. On David Spade, I was thinking about Kevin James and David Spade. It's with David Spade over on his podcast, but there was a lot of or on his show, whatever it is. They're doing these lo-fi chat things. They're really cool. But what's really neat, or what would have been really neat, is if he ends up playing Joe Exotic in some Hollywood primetime movie. I think that would be perfect. Again, we're talking about the quality of the Joe Dirt mullet. I think that's next level on point with Joe Exotic. You just get a little kind of shave on the sides, and you get some of that real like over the counter hair bleach, kind of yellowed out bleached hair kind of look going on, kind of that Eminem kind of color, and I think it would have been perfect. Unfortunately, he keeps saying that he would refuse to do that, so we'll see what happens. We can always keep our fingers crossed and hope. Let's look at what's going on out there in Phoenix right now. I can tell you that it is dead. Look at that. You never see even the traffic map as it extends into LA. It's green. LA's even green right now. I'm not sure how accurate this is because this is the Phoenix traffic map, but I can tell you that Phoenix ADOT really does a good job with this stuff, and so they're pretty good. I'm wondering if this is going to show what's going on in LA too. It might not. Trying to pull in, see if there's showing anything in LA. It might not be too accurate as we go towards LA. It looks like there's some stuff that's showing some slowdowns and stuff. Yeah, see? So yeah, everything is green. How many times have you seen a green traffic map in LA? I haven't. Phoenix is not too much better either. But there it is. Look at that. We'll go to the traffic cameras. Now, this is a Saturday, so it's not quite as bad. But it actually looks a little bit busier today than it does during the work week, which is kind of interesting. Look at that, all three cars going on out there. It's pretty wild, though. Look at that, dead. That's good. Arizona has been pretty solid with making sure that, or at least Arizonans have been pretty good at staying home. I guess that's what I was trying to say. We've been pretty good at staying home. Let's look at beautiful downtown Phoenix, see if we can get a view from down there. There we go. There's downtown Phoenix. Take a look at that. It's the beautiful downtown. This is Phoenix City Cam facing east. I think this is over on some of the municipal buildings, but beautiful outside today. Phoenix is warming up, I can tell you that much. Things have been warming up for us over the past little bit. I live in Arizona. We live in Arizona. We never check the weather. We never, ever check the weather. So I don't know what it is. Let's see what is going on today. Oh, sunny. It's that time of the year, which is 99%, of the year in Phoenix. Today we have a high of 84. 84 degrees in Phoenix. It's 79 right now, 79 and sunny in Phoenix. What's it like for you? I'm sure it's cold somewhere. As I shared with you up in Flagstaff, I'm sure the camera has died out on us now in Flag. It always does that. Yeah, look at that. We have to reconnect. Maybe we can see some of that snow once again. We're going to get off here in just a second. We've got to go get some groceries and do all that kind of fun stuff. But it's too much fun. There you go. Not much snow. It looks like you can see just a little bit, if I'm seeing that correctly. Up there, maybe just a touch of snow. Beautiful town. Look at that. Beautiful town. No trains. It looks like they're looking for trains over there on the tracks, but no trains right now. Beautiful country in northern Arizona. Look at that. Beautiful country. Pretty cool stuff. But yeah, there's a little bit of snow up there. I'm sure there's some snow somewhere. Would be really interested in how things are going for you wherever you are at. As I tell you all the time, don't forget, if you're watching this thing off the air, you can always send us a text or a call or leave us a voicemail to all these kind of numbers down here. You can always send us an email, sam@thehopnerd.com or thehopnerd@gmail.com. You can still jump into the comments, even if it's after the fact, right? Even if it's after we're live, we'll gladly jump on the next live stream, which will probably be tomorrow. All right, we're doing these things pretty much every single day right now. We're going to continue doing that just because it's fun. But we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. So even if you're watching this after, jump in, send us a text, give us a call, leave us a voicemail, jump in the comments, slide into the DMs, send us the emails, all that kind of stuff. And we'll talk about whatever you want us to talk about. If it's human organizational performance, if it's safety, if it's work, if it's life, if it's anything else in between. Again, I'm thrust into the position of being your tour guide to the apocalypse, and I'm enjoying it. It's kind of sort of fun. I like hanging out with you. I like having this conversation with everybody. We're going to continue to have this conversation with everybody for as long as it makes sense for us to have this conversation. I don't know how long that is. That could be, this might be the last one, right? And we'll go back to Wednesdays and Fridays. We're always going to be doing our Wednesdays and Friday shows. It's Wednesdays at 5, Fridays at 8. But right now we're just doing them every day whenever we kind of feel like doing them. It's usually later, right? But it's the weekend. We do the ones on the weekend a little bit early. As we're winging this thing. We're having fun with it. How are things going for you? Hope things are going well. I'm going to continue to give you my spiel, my message, the message that I always will share with you, that I will continue to share with you every single time that you see this ugly mug. I'm going to share with you that we need to continue to focus on being prepared and not panicked, and that we need to make sure that we are helping, not hiding, right? Helping, not hiding. I was going to say helping, not hurting, but hopefully you're not hurting. This would be a bad time to be hurting people. Even though I gave you a little bit of there's some good examples of people that are doing stupid stuff to hurt people right now. There's those makeshift pop-up COVID test centers that folks are doing that are fake. They're totally fake. That's the thing to remember. So again, I told you yesterday, close your eyes and imagine that boomer in your life that you love and care about. That person that tells you, no, you're not a boomer.
I'm not a boomer.
Just imagine that parent of yours that's going to call you and say, I got a really interesting letter from a rich prince in Dubai, and they told me if I send them $1,000, and I'm going to, because they're going to send me $1 million. The person that falls for that stuff are the same people that are going to fall for the fake COVID testing stations that are charging $250. Okay. So we've seen that. We've seen some articles from that in Kentucky. I'm sure that's going to happen everywhere. We kind of don't fall for that stuff, right? I kind of look at it and go, $250. Okay, you're full of crap. We know this isn't real, right? I can see your cool white dad New Balance tennis shoes, and that was the picture that they shared. This dude was wearing like these old, like ratty, like the old ones, like the white Monarch Air Nikes, like the white dad shoes. You know, he's like wearing like the white dad shoes with his Tyvek suit and his fake respirator, right? And they were out there doing random fake COVID-19 tests. It was hilarious, but yeah, we kind of spot that stuff pretty quick, right? We grew up in the generation of like internet scams, so we can spot a scam pretty quick. Like we know the Rich Prince doesn't exist in Dubai, right? We get that, but for some reason their boomers are a little more susceptible to that. So if you notice folks being taken advantage of or opportunities for them to be taken advantage of, steer them in the right direction. That's a good way to help. Call people, ask them what they need. I told you that story yesterday that one of my good work friends called and reached out and said, hey, just wanted to make sure you had everything you need. That's just a random phone call I got yesterday, so that's cool. Return that favor. I'm going to return that favor. Folks are probably doing that for you, calling, just checking on you, seeing how you're doing. Call and check on people. Make sure they have what they need, see how you can help them. That's always a good way to help, right? You can do that from a distance. You can help people from a distance. Those are all super good, super easy ways just to reach out to folks, just to stay connected. Stuff like this, right? Do a live stream. Do something like this. Do a live stream. Just jump into your, anybody can pick up their phone and do a live stream right now on their Facebook and talk to all of their friends at once, anybody that's online, right? So an easy way to just get folks a little more connected, just pop on a live stream and just talk to all those folks and say, hey, how's everybody doing? I just wanted to do this. You don't even have to have something to talk about, right? I don't. I just get up here and ramble. That's what we do. We just hang out and ramble and spend a few minutes with you, and then we go grocery shopping. That's what we're getting ready to do right now. So that's all I've got for you today. Do you have anything you want to throw in there, babe? Anything you want to talk about? Anything important out there in the world you want to share with folks?
All I can really think of is stay safe. Wash your hands.
That's what I was going to say.
Wash your hands, which is very important. Wash your hands with soap and water. It's important to use friction. Practice social distancing. Stay away from other people.
I know what you mean.
Stay away from infected people as much as possible. Limit outdoor activities.
I've been encouraging people to go outside.
I mean, it's good to go outside, but then, you know what I mean? Like, if like in a highly populated area or something like that,
yeah.
Just stay away from other people.
So we've been riding bikes, right?
And I've been enjoying it.
That's one thing that we've been doing. I got to go get a bike pump. I'm the idiot that didn't realize that there is there's a difference like between like bike pump valves, right? I didn't know that there was two different ones. There's a Schrader and something else, and whichever one mine is the weird one. That's the little skinny one. Like, I'm not a bike person. I'm a powerlifting person. We can get into Olympic bars and all that stuff. We can talk about equipment all day long, but when it comes to that stuff, I have no clue that there's a freaking different valve. What the heck? So then I had to order a pump. So I think my pump got delivered today. Hopefully, I hope that it got delivered today. And that's something to share too. And then we'll talk more about bikes. But as you get packages, it's always a good idea to like wipe those down, and be cautious around the packaging. Even with the grocery store, somebody was sharing with me that the other day, just stupid little things like exterior packaging, interior packaging. Ditch the exterior packaging. Keep the interior. Like a box of cereal is a good example, right? Or if you buy cans that are in like those boxes. I was talking to my mom actually the other day, and she's up there in years. I can say that without giving away her age, and so it's worrisome, right? It's worrisome with a lot of our parents that are up there, and some of them well beyond their 60s, some of them into their 70s, some of them into their 80s, and that's what I was sharing with her. She was talking about going to Walmart. I'm like, well, you can do stuff like that, right? You can wash cans, right? Take your jar of whatever you buy at Walmart, and with just your normal mild antibacterial dish soap and some just warm, cool water, right? You can wash that stuff and wash those cans. You can take those things out of your packaging. You can wash your fruits and veggies. You should be doing that anyways, right? You should totally be doing that anyways. And I'll say I'm guilty of that sometimes. I'm guilty of forgetting to do that sometimes. Not right now, but all that stuff you can sanitize once you get your house, and you probably should. And that's what I was telling her, because she's in one of those risk groups. It's like I'm worried about her, right? I'm definitely worried about her. So I'm trying to give her all the pro tips that we can. right, to keep her from having any trouble. So that's just something that you should think about as well. But so packaging that comes in, all that kind of stuff, you don't know where it's coming from, you don't know who's touched it, all that kind of stuff. So that's one thing I'll have to do when I get home, and hopefully my bike pump is there. If somebody didn't steal it, we have package thieves that I want to catch one of these days and stone to death in the middle of the street. But there's my other rant for you asshole package thieves out there. But yeah, so we've been biking. So before I rant again, I'll say that we've been biking. So what have you been thinking about the bikes? How have you felt with the bike?
I love it. I wanted to go longer, but I think Sam was done.
We went for like an hour.
It felt like 15 minutes. I enjoyed it because of the weather here in Arizona is really great.
We went for like an hour an hour and a half. You're the one. So this guy fell asleep last night and we didn't get to go. So he got mad because of the other one, and then he falls asleep last night. We ordered in.
Do you know how tired I am in this time of day? Like this time.
It wasn't even that. I think it's so we ordered in. We're getting so fat. So we have to get gym equipment. We have to bike because we both put on like 20 pounds in the past to stay in here. It's okay. Says the guy that just polished off an entire birthday cake for the past 3 or 4 days. No one else ate the cake. I had one slice. I think Avery had one slice, and he ate the entire cake. It was like this gigantic cake.
This is how if you eat a whole cake, this is how you look like.
But yeah, so we were. We've been biking a little bit, but yeah, last night I think it just ended up being somebody wanted to order in Cambodian food.
It was delicioso.
So we had some Cambodian food. We had what's the pork chop called? I don't remember what the
Hong Shao Chop. It's called Cambodian pork chops.
Is that what it was called?
Uh-huh.
And then we had lemongrass soup.
We had fresh spring rolls.
Lemongrass soup was really good. I don't know. I have no clue what was in the lemongrass soup. It was kind of like when you get like any random soup like that. I would probably compare it to almost like menudo or something like that. You kind of get the squishy bits in there that are really good, but you don't want to know what they are, right? So you probably just shouldn't ask what they are. But it was delicious. The lemongrass soup was phenomenal. There's a great little Cambodian restaurant around from us, and they set it up with like a.
It looked like a health screening thing too. Well, it's not a health screening thing, but it's like they have a little booth outside trying to prevent people from staying in one area, I guess. But it was cool.
Yeah, it was like you didn't even go inside the restaurant at all to get your food, right? You just kind of they walked up to you.
It's like a drive-through.
Yeah, like
for people.
You walk up to it on the outside, and I noticed that at Two Hippies. So there's a place around the corner from us, Two Hippies Beach House, which is phenomenal. They have great tacos, fish tacos, shrimp tacos, all this kind of stuff. It's just tacos. It's just great. They got like half of an old Volkswagen, and that'll lead us to another conversation before we go. But they had half of like an old Volkswagen bus outside, and just yeah, it's cool. It's really neat. But I noticed that too, that they're distanced, right? They actually set up stools, and you have to stand by your stool. Right, which is cool. That's a cool way to do it because they have like a little bar that's outside to the road. Like here's kind of the road, and then they've got like a window bar thing anyway. So it's kind of neat the way they had it set up. But yeah, it was neat. I thought that was cool to see how restaurants are doing that and how they're handling that kind of stuff. To see that kind of happen, you walk up, you tell them your name for your order. You never go inside, right? You're outside open air. They keep you so far away. I think that's neat to see how that's going. But yeah, so we've been riding the bikes. That's one thing that we've been doing. I think he's been enjoying the bikes quite a bit. But last night we didn't go because he wanted Cambodian food. We ate Cambodian food, and he passed out on the couch.
Could have woke me up. I would have went.
He doesn't wake up.
I do wake up, and I was fine. That's fine. We're gonna bike tonight.
No, you'll pass out again. What food are you gonna order tonight? Everyone wants to know what food they should be getting during the apocalypse while they're squirreled away in the house.
Jollibee.
Jollibee would good. Explain Jollibee to folks out there because most folks probably don't know what Jollibee is.
Jollibee is a Filipino food chain restaurant. It's like a McDonald's like kind of food chain thingy, but they are, what is it? Like their specialty is more of like fried chicken.
Oh, they have fried
and
chicken.
Spaghetti. I know it sounds odd for those who are not Filipino.
It's different spaghetti though. So describe the
It's-
spaghetti.
The,
It's like
their
sweet
spaghetti is
sauce.
sweet spaghetti sauce with like hot dog, like normal cheap hot dog
So-
with cheese.
So what it is. So for those of you out there that are from my neck of the woods, it's redneck food.
It's delicious
They, no,
food.
it is delicious. They can pretend like it's Filipino all they want, but we invented putting hot dogs in spaghetti.
Okay.
We invented making spaghetti out of ketchup because we were too broke to make it out of regular tomato sauce. We invented that stuff. That's Appalachian through and through. So they can claim it. They can resell it, but we know the truth. That's the main thing. We know where that stuff really came from. And then you couple it with our most sacred, our fried chicken.
Oh, stop. It's not just Appalachian, whatever.
Appalachian?
I don't know.
Appalachian?
But yes, Jollibee is, I don't know, maybe Jollibee tonight or
Jollibee is phenomenal. So I'm going to try to pass on the Jollibee. I'm going to try to pass
Wow.
on eating out. I'm trying to not.
Well, I'm gonna
Right
get Jollibee.
Every night I'm like, oh, let's not eat out. He's like, oh, let's get food.
Well, because you have to go to
But yeah, it's Jollibee is good. So people that don't understand Jollibee, I will tell you that Jollibee has hands down, absolutely, hands down, the best fried
Yum.
chicken that you will find.
You're welcome.
Fight me.
You're welcome, world.
They blow every other fried chicken, at least fast food chicken. So I'm not talking like grandma's fried chicken. I'm not talking like hole in the wall chicken joint. Like I'm not talking that. I'm talking like normal chain fast food kind of stuff. Like from any normal chain fast food chicken place that you can think of. Hands down, best bucket of chicken that you will find pretty much anywhere out there. It's perfect. There's not much wrong with it, and it comes with gravy. So again, they can pretend like they invented gravy. They didn't invent gravy.
Oh God, stop making it like a competition or something. Jeez Louise. He's just mad because just kidding.
I'm not mad. I love Jollibee.
Because we did it and we're out there, you know.
I love Jollibee. Jollibee is like the best. It's one of my most favorite places to eat is Jollibee. But we shouldn't eat Jollibee because it always ends bad. You're gonna have fried chicken, and you're gonna have that with spaghetti with very sweet tomato-based sauce with cheese and hot dogs.
Mm,
Then you're also gonna have rice, and you're gonna have brown gravy.
yum.
And then we don't have it here yet. There's no halo halo here yet.
I know.
But then you usually mix that with some type of sugary drink,
Halo Halo's delicious.
and then you have like mango pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the mango pies with it, and it's pretty light. It's only like 4,000 calories a person for one meal. It's nothing too crazy. But yeah, if you haven't been to Jollibee, you totally should go. That's definitely one of my favorites. One of my favorites of all food. What's the noodle thing that I get?
Oh, palabok.
There you go. Yeah,
It's called palabok. It's like the clear noodles with I don't know what kind of sauce it is.
I don't know. And it's got like the
And it has like
the little
chicharron
shrimp.
and shrimp and
Yeah.
egg, and I know it sounds weird, but if you see it, it's really, really good.
It's yum. Yeah, it's totally yum.
It's like the sauce is like more of like fish paste sauce.
It's good.
It's like it's like a fishy noodle thing, but it's delicious.
Yeah.
Don't judge until you try it, people.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. We're giving everybody their menu for tonight. So get creative. I shared this yesterday. There's a lot of small restaurants out there. What was the Filipino restaurant that we stopped at for the first time the other day? What was it called?
Lutong Bahay.
Yeah. So that's the story that I shared the other day, just because I thought it's sad and interesting. Is that there's a lot of restaurants that just opened right before this thing hit, and this was one of those. And it seemed like this spot is going to be really, really good if they survive. Right, so I encourage folks that are out there that if you see those mom and pop restaurants, go order food from them. Right, go order food, go order pickup, go order something from them because you want them to be there when this is over. We've not thought about the massive consequences to shutting down the economy, right? And that's what we've done. When you lock people in their house, you shut down the economy. Right, we've not thought about the consequences to all of this stuff. So I think that's one thing. That's one way that we can support. We can go out. We can put our dollars in the right place. We can try to take care of those places the best that we can. He's over here eyeing himself in the camera or in the monitor. There's a monitor right below this other camera. The camera angle is just seen right now. There's a television that we kind of control this whole thing from. He's saying hello, howdy, hi to everybody. But yeah, go spend your money in those places where it makes sense, right? Where you want to support those folks. They need it right now. They totally need it. So this place just comes to mind because the food was good, and I've got a feeling that when it's like full on, like real deal, like not the apocalypse, they're probably amazing, right? They're probably amazing. So, but just opened. Just open. So if you're in the Phoenix area, that's one thing I'll tell you is go support those folks because they need it. And we always want to see more Filipino restaurants here because there's not a bunch.
Yes, we do.
And the couple that are here kind of.
They're okay.
This one was one of the better ones, I think.
Yeah.
Or will be.
I think it would be better if they're like running.
Well, yeah, there's like nobody there. Right? So I said it's just they're dealing with the apocalypse just like everybody else. I think for it to be the time that we went. For our first time, I did not dislike it at all.
I liked it. It was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good, and considering that they're operating in the middle of this mess to still pump out that kind of quality, it's pretty cool. So, again, go out, be a patron to those restaurants, to those folks, to those places that need it, that you know you like, that you know you love, that you want to see that you want to see be there after this thing is over. Because there's going to be a lot of businesses go under during this, and that's sad. I think that's probably one of the saddest things. There's going to be a lot of businesses close during this thing, and that's sad. That is sad. So again, be a patron to those places. Go out, spend your money where it matters. Right. Take care of those folks that take care of you all the time. They're still there. A lot of them are still open. That's this Cambodian spot that we went to last night. They're still open. Yeah. They're awesome. They're amazing. They're super good. You know, so again, go try something different too. I mean, I think that's a good opportunity if you are eating out. I'm trying to avoid it because I need to lose about 40 pounds. But at least when we actually get back in the gym, we'll have some weight to sling around some higher numbers as we continue our powerlifting journey. Gonna have some leverage now.
See that? Yeah. This is Jollibee Muscle.
Yeah, and if you know of any gym equipment, we're on the hunt. We're on the hunt. We're on the hunt for that. And I was telling you about the he's playing with the incense dish over here with the Buddha.
Stinks.
He doesn't like the incense. That one's supposed to open your third eye, but I forget what that scent was. What? Butthole. Shut up. The box is over there. I don't remember what what you're supposed to meditate on with that one. But it is super interesting because we've been looking for gym equipment. Being locked in the house is dangerous because we're going to basically build half of our garage into a gym. And now I like classic cars. I've got a classic car that's in Virginia that I've got to get shipped out here. I'm from Virginia, as most of you know. My family's still in Virginia. I've got a car that still lives in Virginia that I just have never shipped out here. I just haven't had the space. At some point, I'm just going to rent some space and put it in it. But we've been looking at Volkswagens, classic Volkswagens. So being locked in the house is going to force us to end up buying a home gym and a Volkswagen. That's where the story was. I told you there was a story behind the two hippies. There's an old Volkswagen bus that's there, but we're looking at an old Beetles. We're looking at some old Beetles, like 65,
Alfa Romeos.
66. He wants like one of the old convertible Alfa Romeos, which would be cool too. I think the Beetles are cool. The old Beetles, especially when they're kind of lowered a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? They get like the roof rack. They get kind of that really cool look going on. So we're browsing around. We're looking for those. If you see one of those, it's got a good deal. You can let us know about that too. But the gym equipment is the more important part to us right now. That's the stuff that we're struggling to find, is the stuff like that we never thought the gym would just be closed, I don't think. And I think most folks were in the same position. So now when you go look at this stuff, you can't find it, right? I mean, you just can't find stuff anywhere. I think that's the hard part. You just can't find this stuff anywhere. So that's what we've been looking for. I finally took one of our regulars, Eli Helbert, who is here with us all the time, hanging out. I finally took some of his advice, and I started looking at I think it's the Copper Hammer. We share some of the same curiosity for oddities and morbid oddities and macabre oddities. And so if you haven't had a chance to check that out, you should. I don't think he's going to let me buy a real human skull. but I'll keep it here. They're expensive, and I mean, rightfully so, I guess. But they have a lot of artifact skulls and a lot of medical, real human medical skulls that they sell on this website, and a lot of kind of curio oddities and kind of like curio cabinet stuff oddities and different things, different surgical equipment, different things like that. Different, you just name it, right? There's just all kinds of stuff that they have that's super cool. Shrunken heads, just wild stuff that I like, that I think is cool. I don't think I could bring myself to buy a full a real human skull. I was looking at actually some of the ape and primate like reproduction skulls that I thought were cool. I'd seen one on Joe Rogan, and you can actually buy full on like full life-size full skeletons. I thought would be cool, but they're super expensive, even the remakes. So, but they're just neat. Again, I just think stuff like that's neat. So if you know of anything else out there that I should spend my time browsing at, I haven't pulled the trigger on any of that stuff yet, but and I probably won't. But let us know. That's all I've got. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say, but he's already up moving around, so I'm gonna wrap this thing up right here. If you are if you're watching this later, you can always text us, you can always email us, you can always call us and leave us a voicemail, you can always do all that kind of stuff. That's all I've got. Make sure you jump into the comments. Again, get into contact with us. Leave us something to talk about for the next one. We'll probably do another one tomorrow. That's all I've got. Until next time, this is Sam Goodman, the Hop Nerd, your tour guide to the apocalypse, finally signing off. I will say bye, everybody, bye. We will see you next time. He's gonna turn around and say bye. Hold on, I'll pull up the big one. I can say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.